Brain broke. Hey, everybody, it's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Listen, today was a Money Tuesday. We were running a little late. It's tax lien, tax deed time. So I was out here getting it in. Now, listen, I brought on one of my best guests, Dr. Dix, talking about automation. Now, listen, before we bring on Dr. Dix, I want to tell y'all know what time it is, right? The favor season is over. Now, what is the favor season? Now, we just saw the college scandal that caught all those people up, right? They caught up all those superstars, all those rich people, all those famous people who usually could have just slid the kids on in. But all it takes is some of these computers and their automation to just check the background checks, check your information, check your grades. Why is stuff not matching up? In this country, you used to be able to just move across the country and have a whole new everything. Nobody was able to look you up. You could be done murder 4 people in an old town and drive across the country and have a new identity. It was all good, but not anymore. Automation is coming through and we're going to list a couple of them in here between colleges, between jobs. The rule of thumb is 80% of jobs are got by people who know somebody inside. Who it's not what you know, it's who you know. But for that other 20%, what happens to y'all? Right? We also have Jay-Z just put $16 million into robotic pizza delivery trucks. Man, we got a lot of stuff coming through the door and through the pipeline that y'all aren't ready for. And it starts with that education. It starts with those certifications. But anyway, introduce yourself, Dr. Dix. We're going to get into it tonight.
Hello, this is Dr. Patrick Dix again, coming live from South Kakalaki, South Carolina. Still live here. I wrote my research on automation and how it's going to affect manufacturing jobs in South Carolina. I go around talking about automation and how it's going to impact everybody's lives. Women and minorities are going to be affected first, but everybody's going to be impacted by automation. There is no group of people, regardless of gender or race, that will go unscathed by this, because automation is changing the whole world. And follow me on Instagram at King of Automation. I'm on LinkedIn. I appreciate the people that have reached out to me on LinkedIn. I also do consultations. It is in the chat, if you need help navigating these turbulent waters. And let's get to it so we can share some more knowledge with y'all.
Man, so Dr. Dix, I went looking for some of the automation conversation Dr. Dix has been talking about. And I saw all these Indian videos where they were stressed, Dr. Dix. They were stressed. They were like, listen, 3 million jobs are going to leave India. And they were like, okay, what's that mean? They're talking about insurance company jobs, administrative jobs, and computer science related jobs. Jobs that were so easy that they could do it without knowing English. They could do it without talking to anybody. The administrative in insurance, where they're just filling out documentation. It's that little stuff, right? Dr. Dix said somebody can come in the office and do 20 hours a week. Or it's that part-time work that somebody could slide somebody in the door, and that favor, like, hey, we're just gonna hire her. She don't got none of the credentials. She ain't got none of the certifications, but we're gonna give her a favor. We're gonna slide her in the door. A lot of that is going away. A lot of the call centers, so they've got this whole kind of thing going on lately, which your girl might get a little bit into. Well, we're gonna find out, where they have these virtual call centers. Because people say, Ericka, why would somebody work for $9 to $15 an hour answering phones? That's crazy. Not if you in nowhere, Iowa. Not if you in nowhere, Wyoming. Not if you in nowhere, Kansas. You in St. Louis in your house. You just want to answer the phone for $10 an hour and stay at home. Those jobs are available to you. Why are they so cheap? Why are they paying so low? Because if not, they can go outsource to India. A lot of what people think they're going, I'm just going to chill. That's a wrap. The easy chill is a wrap. Again, the seasonal work, Dr. Dix, this is the time of year where them ladies be like, let me go get me a little seasonal job. They don't need you. They going to automate that stuff out the way. You see what they're doing in these factories. They are automating as much as possible since y'all on a trip. You see what's happening in California, right? California and the unions went crazy on them people. So they said, hey, you got to pay all these longshoremen all this money at California, at all the ports. You got to pay them high. So guess what? Merck said, you know what we're going to do? But hiring more people at the port, we're going to have these automated arms come in here and move these boxes. We're going to have these automated scales weighting these trucks and moving this stuff. That's going to take hundreds of thousands of jobs, y'all. I showed y'all a picture on the community wall where we just went to Sam's Club here in Austin, Texas. They had nothing but self-checkout on except for 3 lanes. Sam's Club, this is the kind of place where you buy stuff in bulk. Big old bulky. I could walk out there with anything. What y'all doing? So anyway, Dr. Dix, come on, man. You've been seeing it in education. Tell us more about how you're seeing it in education right now.
In education, one of the biggest things I've expressed to people that the immigrants are coming over, and I've said this in every show. Many of the schools I teach for have immigrants. They already have bachelor's degrees. So they're here on F1 visas. So they're already a step ahead of the American population. And some of these students work at American Express. They work at Amazon. They're dentists. They're lawyers. These are not regular people just coming in doing manual labor. And in the education system, I've talked to many of the deans and I've told them you have to change your curriculum. Many of the things we teach kids now are irrelevant already. They're going to have to update the K through 12 curriculums. I mean, many of the kids, with the pandemic, they stayed out of school, and many of them still cannot read and write correctly. We have little Paulie and little Jackal over there that can pass a ball but can't pass a test. And they're at the Y. Before the pandemic happened, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. You would see the kids. You would have somebody in there trying to get them to go around cones on a basketball court. And I wonder how many of those kids actually can read and write proficiently. Because in life, everything is procedure driven, what we call SOP, standard operating procedures. There's a procedure to life, how to win in the education system and even on a job. So as Ericka said in her brief monologue earlier, the days of just getting by saying, I'm going to work this warehouse job. I'm going to be a forklift operator. I'm going to do the minimum and try to get the maximum. This is not the stock market, because if anyone knows about the law of business, if you want to get the most with less, you cannot do that in 2022. And it's almost 2023. So 2023 is going to wake up a lot of people. We're in a lot of trouble. And the good thing is you still have time to prepare. You can listen to myself or Ericka or all the guests she brings on, like DJ, the guy that talked about Section 8, all of these people trying to get y'all to work remotely. Even Andre Hatchett with the notary stuff. I said, she stated she brings on a lot of guests. This is valuable knowledge that you're getting for free. But the thing is, if you don't use it, you're going to be at a big loss, and you can't blame anyone but yourself for this.
Dr. Dix, I don't know if you saw earlier, I posted a post on Facebook, but you may not saw it. It was about Buc-ee's. I said Dickies. It was Buc-ee's, right? So Buc-ee's had this thing. I'm pulling it up on my phone. Posted on the community wall. I'm going to post it again. So you think Buc-ee's is a gas station, but it's a high-level gas station, right? The Texas version of Whataburger of gas stations, okay? And so they had a post out there. This is how bad they need people. They said, listen, a general manager, $150,000 to $225,000 a year. A food service manager, $125,000 to $175,000 a year. A car wash manager, $125,000 a year. Assistant general manager, $100,000 a year. And now this is what they said on here. Full time is 35 to 50 hours. No experience necessary. But let me be very clear. They're going to work you like a Hebrew slave for that $150,000. This is Buc-ee's gas station. The gas station stays open 24/7. This stays open. And they have some tech jobs too now. Let me not get it twisted. Afrotech brought it up. You write in the comments. They did talk about Afrotech. They have some tech stuff they need. Even the gas station need tech workers, y'all. And them jobs in the back, okay? So look. Anybody that's a cashier, gift, maintenance, warehouse, $17 an hour, paid weekly. That's how bad it is, y'all. Buc-ee's is paying weekly, y'all. Weekly. People can't even wait 2 weeks. They're like, I need the check, the crack. I'm at the meth. I'm at my water, my groceries. I need it every week. Check every week. So you get paid weekly, y'all. That's how crazy it is. Food service and car wash, $20 an hour. Team lead, $19 to $22 an hour. Department manager, $24 to $32 an hour. Now, I'm not job discriminating, but they just told you what full-time means that at their location, 35 to 50 hours. Okay? And they paying you weekly. So again, that's how bad people need it. right? Listen, somebody already said it. I was getting ready to say it. That chime, they need to be paid daily. They need to chime, bing, bing, bing. Right? So they listen, you got a 401k, they're gonna 100% match 6%. You get 3 weeks paid time off. You can either use it, cash it, or roll it the first year. You get healthcare part-time available, plus 2 hours for overnight. Buc-ee's is a 24-hour gas station. You're going to be working at night at some point. Now, I'm not dissing jobs. This is a job. If I was a woman pregnant at home and I had a husband, he needed to work, I'm like, baby, better go sign up for that Buc-ee's. Get on in that line and sign up for that Buc-ee's, okay? But here's the thing. They're going to work you like two people for that 150 at the Buc-ee's. They're going to work you like two people for that car wash because the car wash is mostly automated. What's going on? You're the person that fixes it if it goes wrong. You're the person who fixes it if there's a problem. We're showing you these different things because so many people go, well, I'm just, I don't know about tech. I don't know about math. All right, you're going to know about working 50 hours a week for it to qualify full-time. And let me know how that goes for you. Y'all don't understand. The automation is going to push a lot of people into career paths that otherwise a favor or knowing somebody or shaking a hand would have got you in the door. This is why we big push on white collar and also blue collar, not just knowing how to fix it, but being able to hire some guys to fix it. And if you don't know how to fix it, can you hire some young kids and put them through school and put them through training? Because that's what we're lacking. A lot of young people is going to need some type of training.
Yep.
Come on, Dr.
And everybody can't, I'm gonna be honest, in tech, everybody wants to be like a programmer, cybersecurity. A lot of those markets are already overpopulated. Whether people know it or not, in cybersecurity, they are already using machine learning and artificial intelligence to help do with threat analysis and to do penetration testing. So you have to really think about your life and think about your skill set. Right here, if I didn't have a skill set, I'm looking at this on the Facebook wall. I mean, Elon Musk, I don't know if you probably saw it too, Ericka, with like 1,300 people quit when he said full-time work. If y'all don't know, a lot of the people from Twitter maybe did 15 to 20 hours worth a week and got paid like $180,000 a year to do nothing. So Elon Musk was like, we need you to come to work and do 40 plus hours a week. And they were like, well, I haven't been working in a couple of years. So what I'm going to do is I'll just quit. And some of those people have a skill set, but like Ericka was saying, you have to think about it. If you have a minimal skill set right here, you're going to work hard, but the money is worth it. I mean, they don't have people, as Ericka was saying, and getting paid weekly. And somebody said chime was daily. I mean, I work for the government and we get paid monthly. So you get paid the first of the month and then you got to wait till the next month to get paid. So that's something that always stuck out to me. Some people said, man, I can't afford to go a month without a paycheck. And you're telling me you don't have cash flow for a month to get paid?
Dr. Dix, this is where it's going to separate people. When I talk about starting a business or business credit cards, using your credit cards, waiting 30 days to get paid at the back end of some of these jobs, new construction where the company doesn't get paid until after the inspector comes, right? Some of these guys wouldn't even have a construction company if they had to wait 30, 60 days for an inspector to come check their work. They wouldn't work, right? So you have these people who aren't in a position to play this game, you guys. Again, when people talk about, oh, you buying a house ain't nothing but a trap. Think about all the people that didn't pay their rent. And when the COVID protection was up, it was like, bring the U-Hauls out. U-Haul City was out here busting out all around. The people that's in their house that ain't paid, they know they can't foreclose on them for years. Enough time to get their life together. Enough time to make massive decisions. Now, again, Dr. Dick, someone asked, how can we change curriculum in the schools?
You have to be more realistic with the students in the school system. Instead of teaching these kids how to think, you need to instead of teaching students how to think, students need to be told what is practical in the real world. I graduated high school 20 years ago. I'm going to be honest. Nothing I learned from 1998 to 2002, I'm using in the real world. Nothing. Most of the stuff I've learned about life is from my parents and real life experience. So there's nothing I took from the South Carolina high school system, the education system, that's even helping me now. And we give a lot of students a false sense of hope. When I was in high school, you could go to the vocational school and they would teach you drafting is very popular. But now they can automate how to draw buildings. I mean, it's a blue collar trade. They can do drafting, architecture. A robot cannot lay bricks. Brick masonry is hard work, but a lot of people make a lot of money doing it. Plumbing, HVAC, those types of things, and we went away from those. So we putting everybody behind the desk. But one of the things is, I've said this before and I say it, and I will never stop repeating this. Many parents give their kids a false sense of hope to, as Mike Tyson says, you get punched in the face by life and you don't know what to do. And too many kids really get set up to fail.
Here's the funny part, you bringing up drafting. I had a friend, he went to NC State. He will not see this video. He'll never watch my videos. And he dropped out, couldn't finish, couldn't hack it. And a guy, his dad asked, can you help my son? Can you hire him? He'll learn how to draft. You know how much they paid him when he started working because he didn't finish NC State? They paid him $9 an hour to learn how to draft. And eventually, when he's got some type of certificate from our local community college, they had to pay him real money. Now, eventually, he's worked his way up. This has been how many years? 10 years at least. He's finally worked his way up into a real technical level, tech skills job. And this boy got a house. He got 3 cars. He got them all BMWs. He is a BMW person, one of them drifting car folks. And if it wasn't for the favor, his dad asking, hey, my son will work for anything. Now, he didn't do no, he came home and told his son at 20 years old, you're going to work for these people for $9 an hour. But that's all he needed to get his foot in the door. And I want y'all to understand that's going to be real hard for people to slide through and do that for some of y'all in the future. It's going to be real hard.
Yeah, faking on a resume, as you know, people can write a good resume, and then when it's time to actually prove the skill set, you can't do it. So the days of faking it and trying to woo the system are over, because they're going to be, the systems are set up now, and they're eventually working on them to specifically target people that have that experience. You're not going to be able to cheat the game in life anymore. Nobody will be able to cheat the game. I'm looking at the comment, business analysts, data analysts, business analysts. I mean, you can automate many of what the business analysts doing. I mean, data analysts, you're analyzing data unless you're using like Tableau or R programming. And if y'all don't know what those are, R is an open source program they use. There are several other ones, but Tableau is a data analysis software. Program management, it depends on what you're really managing and if you have the certs. And one thing I want to get everybody to realize, you could have certs, but you got to have a degree. You can't just have certs in technical or the white collar world thinking, oh, that's another thing that's going to catch up with people. I got all these certs. You got 25 certs, but you don't have a bachelor's degree. You're capped. And we will see as the world is progressing very shortly, those job descriptions, I hate to say it, many of the job descriptions are going to say minimal education, master's degree. And there are going to be a lot of people that had the time to go back and get that education, because certain jobs now, how they're going to write it, you can't be a manager without a master's degree. And somebody is going to say, I'm 40 years old. I should have got my graduate degree 17 years ago. But as we all know, people say, I'm not going back to school unless somebody pay for it. But you got a $70,000 Audi sitting in the yard. You take these trips to Columbia all the time. Always remember, it's best to get that stuff up front while you got it, and just let it sit in your hip pocket. Job descriptions are going to change. A bachelor's degree is really like a high school diploma. That's one of the education things that Angela Presley brought up. Job descriptions are going to require a minimum master's degree. I'm just telling you how the world is transferring. Don't say the same thing people say they would never get rid of human labor. They are trying to make it to where only a certain breed of people can have actually access to certain types of jobs. So, and then when you get a master's degree, please make sure it's in something technical and analytical. Please just don't get a graduate degree to say, oh, I got a master's degree, a master's of arts. Get you an MS. If you're going to do an MBA or something, please get it in something that is technology related. Please just don't get these degrees because it looks cool and you could take the regalia and you're only making $60,000 a year. Please, people, be smart.
I meant to say the biggest problem people have is they lack social skills. This whole, I'm just going to bring up briefly the incident with the young girl who died in Mexico with this group of friends, quotation mark. People like, that's why my kids don't have friends. That's why I don't let my kids have friends. I'm like, wait a minute now. Don't say that. Your kids need to have some skills and have some friends. They need to know how to talk to people. And this is the prime reason when Dr. Dixon talking about y'all getting capped, that 80% behind the door job offerings, like let's just go there. The Jets, it's the Colts, hired a former football player to be the head coach. There's only 32 head coaching jobs in the whole NFL. And people are like, this is not right. He's supposed to offer it to everybody. He's supposed to interview Black candidates. I said, y'all don't understand how the world works. 80% of them jobs is who you know. But if you're not in that who you know circle, you not listen, Dr. Dick, we've seen it. We all can go on Facebook right now. We'll look down our timeline. You look down some folks' timeline, they shopping, they traveling, they going out, they doing big things, they just left a conference. You look up some of these people timelines, they talking about, can somebody cash at me? Can somebody help? Can somebody cut my kids' hair? Like ridiculous stuff. There's some struggle going on out here in some of these timelines. But it's who you know. So if all the people you know in your timeline is telling you struggle stories, you need to pause and figure out what to do different with your life right now. ASAP.
I agree. I highly recommend you have friends in different cultures. If all your friends look just like you, that's not a good thing. All your friends need to be of different genders and different ethnicities. I think I said that word right. Yeah, I can never say it's a tongue-tied word. You need to learn about different cultures. You've even mentioned joining the Chamber of Commerce. Mm-hmm. You've joined a major volunteer events, the Rotary Club. I do stuff. The last week, I was a premier sponsor for a charity, the Helping Hands, that's in the local area. I met lawyers at that event. I met people, and this is the funny thing about that event. I was a Black guy that paid the $3,000 to be the premier sponsor. They said they never had one. When I walked up, I was sitting at a table. Mm-hmm. When I walked up to the mic to introduce myself, those people's mouths dropped. Like, who is this?
This is the premier sponsor with this natural hair? His name is Dr. Dix. Get him out of here.
and I saw some of the people like lean over and said, people were talking. And then I walked around. As I walked around, all of the high players in the area of Aiken County, that's where I live close to, came around handing me cards like, hey, we appreciate everything you're doing. We ain't trying to get no money or nothing from you, but we just wanted to know who you are. And it's amazing by doing that, the people know me, and I've already told the people next year I would sponsor it. I would do it again. I would do it again because people don't realize. Somebody would say that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but you have to realize you're investing in something. Somebody you might meet can help you make $150,000, and you're putting your name out there. And it's investing in yourself, and people won't take that kind of risk, and I'm willing to do it.
Listen, y'all think I be joking about these Chamber of Commerce events and stuff. If you are in some of the associations in the city, they don't know who you are. Something happened in the news, they be like, who is that? The same go-getters. It'll be the top 20% of the town. Same go-getters are in most of the things you're thinking of, which is United Way, which is a lot of the volunteering. It's the same hitters. It's the same people with money in town. Conferences, when I tell you about going to conferences, it's about who you know, not what you know. Literally, the last couple conferences I went to is going to put millions of dollars in my pocket in the upcoming year. Just, people talk smack about Earn Your Leisure conference. It was 12,000 people up in that bad boy. It was a ton of people. If you left it the same, that's on you. You leave any conference you go to the same, that's on you. Now, somebody said in the comments, automation is going to create new doors and new gatekeepers. This is true. They're going to say, oh, wait, we can't even interview you. You can't even slide in here. There's going to be no favors. Yep. That's what's going to be, the season of no favors.
One of the things, too, is I live in South Carolina, and I'll eventually say what board I'm on. But if you go to the state of South Carolina, there are boards where there are vacancies. How I got into that, I called up to the governor's office. The lady specifically said this to me: we don't have anybody that won't be on a board. On these boards, you get to intertwine with all the senators and the House of Representative people and the whole state of South Carolina. All you got to do is get the proper paperwork and you're on the board. There are so many vacancies on education. So the people that I know, and I talked to them, I said, a lot of people out here are very big talkers because I don't see them anywhere. I said, all you got to do is go apply to these boards, meet the background. I mean, it's a very stringent background check, get letters of recommendation, and you could talk to people. And people know who you are on like legislative stuff. People don't realize those kinds of things are intertwining with those people are life altering and game changing. But people don't want to do the work.
I don't know if they still have this program, Dr. Dix, but it was at United Way. It was called Multicultural Leadership Development. You had to go for every Wednesday for like 9 or 10 weeks, and people couldn't even finish it. And what it was doing is getting African Americans, minorities in the community to be on these boards, the boards for energy, the boards for the light company, the boards for the city, important meetings. Why? Because the average board, 99% of the board was older than 60-year-old white men. So I don't know if United Way still have this, but I just gave y'all a gem of a lifetime if you want to go to a free program where you just have to attend the nine in a row, it might be more now. You can qualify to be on boards. Even to this day, it's something I have in my back pocket that I may not use right now, but give me a minute to get some more monies. I'm gonna be like, I'd like to be on the board here in Austin. Yes, I'm qualified. United Way qualified. Yeah, I'm qualified to sit on the board in this room with you guys. I'm telling y'all, it's some stuff that's gonna be, in y'all way. Y'all don't understand. They're gonna be well, they don't have this degree, don't have that degree. There people out here don't about honorary degrees. But that's a whole nother conversation.
You remember that special about 10 or 15 years ago with people, this is a thing I know, Ericka, you remember some years ago, people would go pay to get a degree on a name and they couldn't run it through a background check. All the stuff I apply for now, your degree is tied to your social security number. So there are a lot of people that paid for degrees in the mid-90s. Some people didn't catch up with.
Listen, y'all hear that, right? You pay for them on paper degrees. They looking now. They like, I just looked on the website and that doesn't say your name. Now there's a great website. It says, I'm not even joking. It's called willrobotstakemyjob.com. Highest risk jobs. And I was going to save this so Dr. Diz can see it. Hold on a second. Make sure my screen. Again, it's called Robots Take My Job. And when you see it, it's got a couple different things. Some of y'all already got some great information. I'm going to read your comments and then I'm going to go to the school leadership sometimes is anti-progress. This is true. Sorry, I'm breathing so hard. I don't have a pop mic unless you guys, I apologize. These tech boot camps are proving to be fraudulent. Ooh, be careful the ones you pick up, y'all. So you're saying they're trying to reestablish the middle class again? Oh, they're going to reestablish it. Just a lot of y'all won't get in it this time. It won't just be money. It'll be neighborhood. It'll be several things. Pedigree. So are you saying UBI zones really coming? Listen, UBI zones, buildings. Listen, notice how they're making all these 55-year-old plus communities. Look at and they're so expensive. You can't get them. Y'all grandma don't get them.
I traveled this past weekend, and do you know most of my waiters and waitresses were older people down in Florida? These people look like they should have been sitting at home.
Dr. Dick, don't be mean to the elderly. Give them that good tip. Give them that.
No, I give good tip. I left a very good tip, but this is one thing I tell everybody: when you travel, have situational awareness. I look at everything. I look at the races of people. I look at the age of people. I look at genders. And that's how when people say, when I come up with opinions or factual stuff, this is from traveling, even in the airports, everywhere where I travel, I'm looking at all this, gathering information.
Listen, Alonzo said, I just went to a B-side conference and was able to connect my wife with the company utilizing her master's degree in healthcare management. Wish I would have picked up tech right out of high school. Not now. Listen. You get it when you get it, sir. You only 28. You young. Quit playing. You got time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you young.
Oh, yeah,
no, I thought you were about to say I'm 59. Nah, come on, man. Go and get that. Anthony said, I needed this show. I'm going to put the hammer on my 12-year-old nephew. He will not fail because of these crappy schools. And listen, it's hard. These young kids, it's hard.
Yeah, they coddle a lot of the young kids, and they even try to make it to where they can't fail. But a lot of students need to fail. If you have kids, your kids need to fail to see what it is to thrive from failure. And I always share my story with people. I started college at 22. So the thing is, a lot of people, when I graduated high school in 2002, it was good to say in 2005 or 6, I have my 4-year degree. What people don't realize, age means nothing in life. It's pretty much how I look at it. What does, and I've said this before, everybody, if they're listening, you can look this up. You can need to go check out your Social Security statement to see what you was taxed at. It takes 5 minutes. You can sign up online. I know a lot of people probably don't get their quarterly Social Security statements to see if they become disabled, what can they get? Because once you work 10 consistent years, you're fully paid into it. And it'll show you what you've been taxed at. Look at your AGI, which it will be your adjustable gross income. All of that stuff matters. If your life is not moving and trending to where that graph is getting bigger, you have a lot of work to do. You don't need to give advice to anybody. And those are the kind of people that give advice to people that are failing. If I had to share that kind of information with people, I would share it with them, and I would say who I could reach out to for letters of recommendation. But you have to really you have to, there's a measuring stick in life. And the other thing, a lot of people, the measuring stick, you are going to be tested. People now are going, if I ask people, the people that give you advice, ask them what's their credentials and tell them to show them to you. Don't go off word of mouth.
Listen, you know that old barbershop talk. Well, you know, sister, I just know things. Okay, what do you know? Show me. I'm gonna read 3 more comments. I'm gonna show y'all this website I just told y'all about. Power is local. Many people just simply don't want to do the work. There's a girl from Massachusetts that was 17 years old that just got elected to the State Board of Education. Y'all, let me tell you something. When I went to CPAC, these older people in CPAC, Donald Trump loving folks, they were switching all these Board of Educations. They flipped over 60 Board of Educations across the whole United States, changed the whole board, 60 of them. So that meant they came in there, voted for their people, and changed the board. They even just did one in Dallas where they just fired the superintendent. They fired another person. And these are Black people at these schools that have master degrees, got fired by a board. Y'all better pay attention now. They're not playing with y'all. John Disco, thank you for the $1 super chat. He said Ericka's right about Buc-ee's. Just check the site. I'm telling y'all, Buc-ee's about to pay you that $150 and work you hard. It's called United Way Multicultural Leadership Development. Thank you for the
a lot of y'all go volunteer for some of these organizations. You will meet very passionate people that are in the community. They say, I love volunteering. A lot of people don't believe. Go walk dogs at the SPCA. If you're an animal lover, do you know how many affluent people love animals and horses? You'll be surprised who you meet on 2 hours on a Saturday morning. Just go walk dogs and go to an animal shelter. You'll be surprised.
So you guys, this is a automation risk data they've collected. Now, I'm not going to read all of these through. It goes through 500 different jobs. Y'all don't even know. I'm going to squeeze it like this so you can see how many jobs. You go out here, look how far I'm still scrolling, y'all. I'm still scrolling. It's over 700, 800 jobs in this thing. Oh, Lord, I killed the computer screen. It's over like 800 jobs in this thing, right? So I'm not going to go through all that. This is for you to do in your own free time. It goes from most risk to less. So does everybody understand that? Put a 1 in the comments if you understand what I'm saying to you. Check this out on your own free time. It's 800 jobs. We're not going to read those. Pay attention to the top ones though. And I'm going to go over it again. Majority of people entering the workforce are senior citizens. Oh yeah. Look, see you on the site. This site is very interesting. Yes. You know what I'm saying? It's very, I'm gonna just go through some of it, okay? Real quick. Just some of the top ones. Food service, procurement clerks. Now, what is a procurement clerk, y'all? There's several categories this falls under, but let's say you do government contracts. Somebody that just sits and fills out government contracts for you as the middleman, so you just show up to the interview or you just show up to the process, those are procurement clerks. Automation will automate a lot of that out. Just gonna tell you that. Library technicians. When the last time you talked to a library technician, Dr. Dix?
Probably when they had the Dewey Decimal System when I was young.
Okay, let's just go there. Cargo and freight agents. Don't worry, there's a computer that's gonna take your job. You want a trip? They got an agent. Tax preparers. Now, this is the thing about tax preparers. It is a lot of automation with the H&R blocks and software. A lot of the software. But they still need those accountants, and then they still gonna need people to fix people who mess up their taxes. So don't worry, tax preparers like number 5 on this list, and it's a number 5 on a lot of lists, but they still gonna need a lot of people to fix where y'all messed up. If you see this, record keepers, freight forwarders, again, dispatchers, rental clerks, agricultural inspectors, right? Nail technicians, real estate brokers, pay attention. Correspondence clerks, look, textile bleaching and dyeing machine operators. Dr. Dix, you in South Carolina, you already know them jobs has been a wrap. Textile bleaching, that's in Mexico.
Yeah,
We ain't over here.
Yeah, those back breaking jobs or getting all that overtime, it's over. It's slowly coming to an end.
Telemarketers, team assemblers, brokerage clerks, legal secretaries, and administrative assistants. Again, we ain't got to tell y'all this. Read these data points. I'm not going to read them all, but I want y'all to pay attention. Payroll and time keeping clerks. Okay, that's what QuickBooks does. And you can have one person working QuickBooks for at least 5 companies, depending on how they work. Order clerks, office machine operators. You already know them careers have been rolling out the door. You know what I'm saying? So again, a lot of this stuff is not a surprise to y'all, but definitely look at it. Fast food counter workers, insurance claims and processing, policy processing clerks. I keep telling y'all, 42,000 people. They got umpires, referees, and other sports officials. Now that one they gonna keep, right? They always got somebody work for free. Listen, when I went to where did we go? The Raiders. We went to the Raiders, and I went in the back. I said, "Oh my God, look at all the cheerleading." They had a whole. Back in the day, cheerleaders didn't have their own dressing room. They just dressed off somewhere in a stuffing room and just came out. So the Raiders, this big $1 billion stadium. I'm like, look at this dressing room for the women. This is amazing. How much do you think Raiders cheerleaders get paid, y'all? Put it in the comments. Don't Google it. I don't know if you Google it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you Google it, but put a guess of how much Raiders cheerleaders get paid. So if you think cheerleaders don't get paid nothing, umpires really don't get paid nothing. Referees, my uncle used to be, my uncle was 72. He was bow-legged, real bad bow-legged, and was a referee for the school. He was crosswalking guard. He just did that because he was retired and bored. So they'd be paying them people pennies on the dollar. Now, take a guess. Put in the chat how much you think these people get paid. But these jobs are going away. Drilling and boring machine tools. We already know this stuff Dr. Dix is going away. Telephone operators. Credit analysis. 74,000 credit analysis. If you look on Instagram, everybody and mama doing credit right now. Loan interviewers. Let me see. Title extractors. Again, a lot of this stuff, y'all. Sewers, hand sewing. Who's sewing out here? Grandmas and people that do tailoring. Animal breeders. All this stuff is going away, y'all. Not all of it, but a lot of the jobs are going to be gone. So listen, go look on that website. That's just, we at 50 at the 50 mark. But go look on that website, y'all. You'll be mind blown how much those folks, those jobs on there are on that list. Just go enjoy yourself for a few hours.
Yeah, the same people that talk all the trash, their job is at a risk to be automated. And I don't think a lot of people really are taking life serious, even though the Biden administration extended today the student loan stuff to June 30th next year. There are a lot of people that really just don't see the seriousness of life. And we are in some deep times. The market, even though the market is stable right now, even with the housing market, I mean, I know with the prices of the mortgage rates, the rates are going down. But we have to really think how many people can afford a $400,000, $500,000 house. I mean, a lot of people can afford life. A lot of people just cannot afford life. I was listening to CNBC on the way back home. One lady said, one woman was saying, I sometimes skip eating because I can't afford it. Everything now is $3 to $4 above what it's supposed to be. So a lot of y'all, well, and then I know a lot of people are about to spend all their money and being booed up in the next 2 or 3 days, talking about, ooh, I got such and such. See, now people are in what we call survival ships. Nobody's in love anymore. It's Thanksgiving, and now, hey, everybody's surviving. And with Christmas about to come up, man, please, all these folks about to spend all this money and then wait for the tax man in February to be like, yeah, cool, I'm gonna get my 20 bands back, man, and pay all my stuff off for flip.
I keep telling y'all, trying to wait on the refund check is not the game. You see IRS shredded over 80 million people taxes returns. When they sent the paper forms, this goes again to the automation. The IRS was so backed up now because most of them are working from home. Even in the comments, we got people working for IRS in the comments. They went in there and manually destroyed 80 million paper submitted tax. So some of y'all not submitted them tax. Now, if you had a check on you, they looked at that check. But they said they shredded, physically destroyed paper returns to make y'all submit them online.
Hold up. Time out. In 2022, people still are doing paper. People still want paper returns.
80 million paper returns. You know why people do paper? Because a lot of times the IRS scans it through a system and just rushes through it, trying to process it. 80 million. They shredded it. They said, resend it later. We're too busy. That's how crazy
Wow.
it is. Because this was gonna happen. They owe people a refund because they already late. I'm in several groups and they're like, oh my God, here could the taxes. I'm like, calm down. The IRS they ain't even taking our taxes. They're not even taking our tax return. They shredded the paper return. You have to absolutely automatic submit this. If the IRS, the government who's hiring 10,000 more agents, is shredding 80 million paper returns and telling you to get on the computer and send it later, what you think about to happen, y'all? They're trying to automate a lot of stuff. Y'all not paying
Well,
attention.
it's just like people that still do paper checks. Who takes paper checks or sends out paper checks?
Somewhere there's an auntie in Kansas City somewhere sending a paper check right now. Somewhere there's somebody doing it.
I know if this is the thing, you know how the government force people that got Social Security payments. You know, back in the day, everybody got that paper. 99.8% of everybody that gets Social Security now have to get it electronically. So what's going to happen? Like you're saying, Ericka, they're going to say you don't get your refund unless you send your taxes in electronically. That's what's about to happen.
It's coming. That's why people say, "Oh, I can send my stuff in." Yeah, you can try. They gonna shred your stuff, and they say send it back later. That's why they're taking a break after November 26th. They said they're not accepting nothing else, not online, not on paper, nothing. They at home. That's how crazy it is. So why you just started with 25,000, 2,000, 55,000? Ryan, you really think they paying cheerleaders $55?
No.
Some of y'all 50,000, 12,000. Ray said 12. Let me tell you what these cheerleaders get paid. Somebody Google it. MGM, you Google it. Somebody said 15, 25K. So the Raiders in the most expensive market, Las Vegas is not the most expensive, California is, but Raiders in a $1 billion stadium are only paying them cheerleaders $22,000 a year, y'all.
Ooh, I was close. I said 25.
So if you a cheerleader, and you a cheerleader for, I have a cheerleader for the Ravens, girl, Raiders, and you working out 5 hours a day so you can fit in them tiny clothes. Let me tell you something. This is what's about to happen to you. You got to spend that time that you're not at an actual football field marketing yourself. You pretty much got to spend the rest of the year using your Instagram to get sponsorship deals so you can eat and live. How they living on $22K in Las Vegas? They in a hooker hotel at $22,000 a year. They on the rough side now. They
only get paid
a Ford Fiesta.
And I wonder, do they pay them year round? And I wonder, do they pay them year round or they get paid for 18 games?
Now you know that's disrespectful. If they paid them year round, that's just disrespectful. Here's your $1,000 check, $1,200 check every month. I'd be mad.
But this is the thing too. We're talking about. I see somebody wrote a comment about being an MD. I know a lot of people didn't like Dr. Ben Carson, but if y'all ever get the opportunity, y'all should watch his movie. It's called Get the Hands. Cuba Gooding Jr. is the actor playing him. You know, we need to have more kids aspire to be Dr. Ben Carson. I mean, for being a neurosurgeon. I mean, y'all cannot agree with his political stance on stuff, but as a neurosurgeon, separated conjoined twins to me is brilliant, and he was one of the first people to ever do it. I was listening to a video from O'Shea today. The girl named whatever the girl name is from Memphis, Gorilla, didn't know ham came from a pig. And these are the kind of people we have influencing. Yes, these are the kind of people influencing. Yes, these are the kind of people influencing our culture. And you'll hear people like Ericka or some of the guests she brings on. Ain't nobody about to do all that and all that. So what Ericka and I have been talking about in some of the previous guests, what are you going to do? Because your back is about to be in the corner. And what's going to happen? You're not going to get an opportunity to fix your problems in life anymore because it's going to be too late. That's what we're trying to get everybody to see. You still have time to get on this train while it's still going. But once you're shut out, the world is not going to move backwards, and you are completely done for.
So someone sitting here, I work for the IRS. I don't know about the shredding. So they just confirmed it wasn't 80 million. We only shredded 30 million.
Yeah.
So we didn't shred them all. We just shredded 30 million paper files. Who was in there with a shredder machine? Also, for the record, that's actually a government contract. Getting rid of documentation from government buildings, shredding the proper disposal. It's actually a government contract, I found out. So
Yeah.
so then again, this is where they're at. You know, they reported it was 80 million. The IRS said, listen, we only destroyed 30 from March 21st to September 21st. You know, we gonna take them now. We gonna fix it. They said it's just 1% of the total return. I don't care if it was. You can't be in the backyard of the IRS building with a shredder. Be like, we just can't take it. Give me a shredder. I can't take it no more. I just can't. Give me a shredder. Think about that.
I wonder who got. I wonder who got that $5 or $10 million contract to say, "Come here every week, bring your cube truck."
Listen, with people's social security number, people information on it. Come on, man. Mara Park, she was out there shredding, won't you? You was back there. She said we still have thousands of papers returns. Not sure about shredding. You was back there shredding. It's okay. You can tell us. You can tell us.
They probably hired a couple of interns. Say, hey, y'all want to make some good money? Just get rid of all of this. Just shred it. This is your job. 5 days a week.
I ain't gonna lie. My grandma still writes checks. Somebody said I wrote a check to buy my car. This person said I saw a check at the grocery store. I used to hate checks when I worked at retail pharmacy.
Yeah, they use what they call the Check 21 system. Even if you write a check, they'll scan it and give it back to you. But I still see people at the register balancing a checkbook. And with the holiday season coming up, since we're talking about technology, one of the things I would tell everybody, since people are going to be shopping this week, if you can use your credit card to do everything, don't use your checking account for anything. Please don't. Be smart. Just shop online with a credit card and then pay it all off. When you travel, use a credit card. I know, y'all talk about people with Chime and everything and with credit cards and stuff, but just be safe out here. I mean, we got a lot of stupid going on out here, but just make sure you take care of yourself. And the other thing is too, you brought this up. I've been seeing it where banks are cutting back on credit and everything. Lines of credit are going to get smaller because a lot of companies, they were saying a lot of mortgage companies hadn't paid a lot of consumers still hadn't paid their backdoor debt. Yeah. And there are going to be more layoffs. Even Amazon laid off all the Alexa. Excuse me. They laid off all the Alexa people. So it's going to be white collar, and there's going to be some blue collar jobs laid off. But you just got to find a way you can get in a medium and continue to work and make money, because right now there is a lot of money to be made if you can get into the right career. Because everybody's sleeping.
Dr. Dix, these people. Listen, Dr. Dix. I'm gonna do a tax lien show again coming up, y'all, because I want to talk to you about automation, 1, and 2, talk about the fact that these people ain't paying their bills. Dr. Dix, today there was a property, it's vacant, right? Been gone, city done tore the house, got everything, and we wanted to give them some money for it. Dr. Dix, they like, we want 80,000. Okay, guess how much they got owed on the taxes, Dr. Dix? Take a guess how much they owe on the taxes.
10,000.
37,000. Dr. Dix, they ain't paid taxes since 2005. See, the city been letting y'all slide, but them computers, them new computers, the automation they got coming, who ain't paid their taxes? Oh, put their money out there. Put it on out there. Y'all not gonna be able to slide with old Becky at the system no more. Y'all ain't gonna be able to slide with the county clerk that's 92 years old with the stick model glasses on. Them computers is in there now, and they gonna tell you and be like, look, you ain't paid this bill forever. So the stuff people playing these games where they think they're gonna get these favors from somebody they know down there, and maybe they're gonna slide through there's a computer somewhere. There's some automation somewhere, got your data in there.
Yep. I've heard of people not paying their taxes for years, and the thing is, I've met people and I'm like, how could you say that publicly? I haven't filed taxes in 8-9 years. That's going to come to an end with computer systems, as you're saying, because they're going to stop your paycheck. These days of like, oh man, I ain't filing taxes, or how some people will put a 10 down for their what is it? Your when you do your taxes, you can put the 0 allowances. All of this stuff they're gonna catch up with faster because of the computer system. Your little 5,000 has turned to about 25,000, and you're gonna pay Uncle Sam his money. If y'all look at the Chrisleys, I saw you posted that. If they're willing to put them in prison for that,
People like, Ericka, I can't believe you're advocating for them to leave. I said, I'm advocating for them to run because it's all paper. It's all money. Like, how can they make that money pay it back? Look, Martha Stewart went there for 6 months. I thought that was ridiculous. If it's just money, let them make a payment plan. You know what I mean? But that's where we at, y'all.
Well, I saw where they got to forfeit $20 million. I mean, I don't know when they got to surrender themselves to the feds, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna let them enjoy Thanksgiving and Christmas.
They might be in there January. Same thing with the girl Elizabeth Smart, the billionaire claimed the fake billionaire where she raised all that money from that blood. They getting her too. Again, Uncle Sam, that's right. Uncle Sam wants the money. That's all it really is, y'all.
Yeah,
so you want to put yourself in a position to win.
They're gonna get their money. Even in death, they'll put a lien on. They'll say if somebody died, they're gonna put a lien against the estate. The government is gonna get their money. The county is going to get their money. People, when you die, if you owe debt, my parents passed. You have to put everything in probate. When people die, it's expensive. You got to put stuff in probate. You got to close out accounts.
Active will, yeah.
Yep. Even though they have the wills and stuff, you still got to do it the legal way. You got to go over here and talk to the probate judge. You got to finalize this since they passed. I'm over the estate since I lived with my mom. My dad died 20 years ago. It's paperwork. It's money to be made when people die. If people want to open something, open up a funeral home.
Listen, Dr. Dix, I know some friends, family friends who their father died, and the mom just went there, was using that debit card, and they were like, "Wait a minute, didn't this man die?" Locked the whole thing up, and he was the only one making money in the family. So she's like, "Hey, I can't get access to the bank." They said, "Well, first of all, you didn't come here and tell us this man died. You were just using the debit card. You got to tell somebody." Now, she better than me because I came and took all the cash out. Give me all 27,000 off the account today. And then they've been like, "What happened to Mister? He wrote me to come get this money. He died." Then tomorrow I told him he died yesterday. But these people don't realize this stuff is automated.
Yeah, because even people that die to get like government benefits, they like some people ain't reported them dying. That computer system is gonna talk and say that's so secure. They're like, hold up. Y'all been getting money for 24 months. This person, you're supposed, when somebody died, you're supposed to call and report them they died so they'll stop sending money.
That same thing happened to Ron Isley. He got all his brother checks for like 4 years. He went to jail. You like Ron Isley? Really, brother? Really? Listen, it was Ron Isley and the brothers, but you being greedy now. That's too much, Ron. He was cashing the man's checks.
And especially people with the think about people that get payments from the government, the VA payments. The military people got to show up to those appointments. Like, hold up, you don't miss too many of these appointments. Then you get that letter from the government, like, we have found out blank social security number is deceased. Either we get the money back or you're going to jail. It's one of the two computer systems, Hold
on, I'm gonna read this to y'all. I want y'all to know this how the computer gonna catch all these people. Listen, y'all was talking about PPP. Ron Isley was before PPP. Let me read this to y'all. I'm so petty. I gotta read this Dr. Dix. Isley was indicted in October for allegedly evading taxes from 1997 to 2002, and also by depositing his dead brother's royalty checks. Buying cars for his personal use with the money from the business account and paying his band members in cash that he kept off the books. Y'all, you can't be doing that's too many items. 1997 to 2002. How many women? 3. That's at least what?
5
You're
years.
doing too much, Ron. That's too much. Brother, chill out. That's too much. And it took a while for them to evict him, but I think he only went to jail for I don't even know how long. Maybe let me see. Maybe like a year. But it was just too much. It was like, sir. Get out of here. That's why he came out singing again. He didn't have no choice. At the time, he owned an 87-foot yacht, expensive cars, a home in Los Angeles and St. Louis. Ron Isley created a network of bank accounts and shell corporations to hide his income. More than 20 witnesses testified against him in a 3-week jury. How dare somebody testify against Ron? How dare that? And he spent, how long he spent in there? I think he spent 1 year.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it was
with somebody's. Yeah, he was making hits. He was writing with R. Kelly, Contagious. So he was making money off of still singing and stuff. I don't know why he did it, but in the early 2000s, he was still popular, singing with R. Kelly and all kinds of stuff on hit records. So
Oh man, boy, I tell you, boy, Ron Isley doing too much. I'm sorry, it was cracking me up. I brought that up. I'm sorry. Somebody said them fur coats. I can't. But
Y'all wrong for that.
I brought this up as an example of automation coming in here and it's just gonna start checking on stuff. The computer don't know no better. The computer's gonna start being like, let me check this, let me check that. It's just trained to do what y'all train them computers to do. That's why she said the Terminator trying to catch everybody. Everybody.
I don't know if you could Google this. In y'all city, many of these metropolitan areas, they have a camera system what's called a flock camera. I want people to look out for it. Eliminating crime with flock cameras. So if you ride by your neighborhood and see these cameras, they're a little black camera with like the solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
If Ericka pulls it up, yeah, it's called a flock camera system. I'm gonna put it in the chat. They read license plates and they're eliminating a lot of crime. They're working on it.
That's what they tell you they commit. We don't know what it really do.
Yeah. So I put it in the chat. Yeah, Dana Dane says DC has them. So criminals, you won't be able to get away with crime. When they show crimes, you know, the shooting over there and the guy that club in Colorado, they had the ring cam. I mean, I don't understand people now when they commit. There are so many cameras. I mean, you can't really commit a crime and get away with it. There are cameras everywhere. So with artificial intelligence, a lot of people, y'all got friends and family out here running from the cops. The AI system gonna catch up with their facial recognition, and a lot of crimes gonna be solved. I mean, if you look at how computers have helped them solve a lot of crimes for 40 years ago, we're getting in the age to where technology is just you won't be able to do anything.
Did you see do you remember the movie Colombiana or whatever? It was the black girl that
Zoe
yes.
Saldana, yeah.
You know, and they put her in everything. They made her every time it was a black person. They're like, put her in it. She was in that movie where she was blocking her face from the camera, and this was like 2000. Somebody look up that movie, Colombiana, what year that came out. But people thought that was over the top.
I went to the movie theater. It came out in 2011, I believe.
You see, Dr. Dick was like, that was my boy. No, 2011 that came out. So think about that. That was over 9 years ago, 10 plus years ago. Even then, it was kind of like, haha, that's funny. That's a real thing. That's a real thing where people are trying to block their face, not be on the internet. We were joking the other day. I was talking about a backpack for somebody as a gift. And he's been talking about the same backpack, and it showed up in my phone as advertising. I said, y'all, you already know they listen to us at these folks. They're tracking us, they listening to us. Like I sat beside this person, you know, and all of a sudden, I hadn't been talking about no sports tickets, but all of a sudden my phone showed me nothing but nonstop sports tickets. Why? Because the radius of our phones together. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I can talk about, but at the end of the day, the reason I keep bringing up automation for y'all is I want y'all to understand. You either gonna get on the side of where you making some money in a job that can be on the prevention side of this or the repair side of this, or you gonna be on the side of things where you're like, I just can't seem to catch a break. No. You saw what happened in Florida. The AI predicting people's bail. They're not even letting the magistrate do it. Again, that favor system was like, well, he looks like a good young man. I'm gonna let him out. Nah, they ain't even got that no more. It was calculating their bail. This black girl who never committed any crime in her previous history, it calculated for her to pay, she was going to be 70% chance to do this again and have all this crime, even though she never committed a crime before this. You know why? Who does she live? Where does she live? Her address. Who does she live beside? Who's her brother? Who's her cousins, right? Y'all think this stuff doesn't matter, but the computer is calculating, oh, this person lives near a criminal, right? When I applied for my first credit card, it was like, what's your parents' name? What do you need my parents' name for? They already know your parents live over here in this neighborhood, don't make that much money. They are calculating that stuff in those systems.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
yeah,
what you understand is what's happening.
Yeah, if you stroll down on that website and if you see the flock safety, if you go to, it'll show you a picture of the cameras or what it's tracking, like license plates. I mean, now, like, eventually they're not, you know how you have a lot of officers checking speed on vehicles, they now have speed detectors. So You know, the same thing going through the tolls going to Florida. They don't have nobody working there. You could just drive through it. They'll send you the ticket in the mail. I mean, you know, and a lot of these neighborhoods, I don't know why a lot of rough neighborhoods just don't put a couple of these up in the area. I mean, put them on a pole where people can't get to them. But this is what we're headed for. I mean, especially these rough areas. So you can't do anything anywhere anymore and get away with it. I mean, the DNA thing, you know, I don't know if people know. You submit, I've done the 23andMe and the Ancestry. You know, when you submit your DNA, the law enforcement, they can keep a record of it, and that's how they're solving a lot of crimes. They don't destroy it.
It's never going to be destroyed. This is the thing too, where they're catching old case files. Like they had this 80-year-old. Unfortunately, I'm just going to tell that story. 80-year-old black lady. She was raped at her home. And it was everybody's like, "Oh my God, who would do this?" Well, all of a sudden, years later, some DNA from 23andMe. It wasn't the person who got the DNA. It was his uncle. So his uncle was the weird, and this was an old black lady, and this was a younger white man. And everybody's like, he was always weird. The family tried to act like we don't know what happened. He was always weird. And luckily for them, the white man had died. Because the family was embarrassed. They're like, we can't believe his DNA came up in the system. This stuff is starting to be connected, y'all. That the old black woman, she's still alive, but that man is dead, and they still were able to connect it to his DNA. Like, oh, he did this because he was in the system for something else. And it didn't come out to his cousin, not even his brother, not his nephew, not his son, nobody that's direct, but his cousin went and did 23andMe. They were like, hey, sir, knock on your door. Look, we're gonna need some more of your blood. You know this man? Are you related to this man? Oh, yeah, that's my cousin. Yeah, let me go check your cousin DNA. Boom. It was in the system already.
Even with the guns, they got the nibbing system. That's the digital fingerprints the ATF uses. So every time they pull a gun off the street, people don't realize they send them to the ATF if they can to test fire them, and it creates a fingerprint. So they're like, well, that gun was you. How they got a gun? I mean, it's the nibbing. If y'all want to look it up, NIBIN. I mean, all types of things. They're making it now. I mean, if I watch the forensic files a lot on HLN, and it has a lot of stuff, and then I watch a lot of the new crime shows, like the First 48 still. I mean, the technology they have to check, to test samples and to get ballistics, it's impossible to really get away with anything. It's just only a matter of time.
You know, the thing was sad about that, Dr. Dix, is there's so many courts that they sued the police force because they weren't even submitting these rape kits. They weren't even submitting the DNA. And then when they got sued, they started submitting these rape kits by the thousands all of a sudden into the system. They were getting pop-ups left and right. So they're catching rapists that have been out there for 20 years doing crazy mess. But if they had this system and they actually follow the system, putting your DNA in, putting your fingerprints in, putting this stuff in the system, they would catch these people faster. They would catch these people faster.
Will stay willing. Does that violate HIPAA? When you submit your DNA, that's all that fine print at the bottom that nobody decides to read. So yeah, that's all that fine print that none of us read. We just submit it just to say, oh, I have African, I have European in me. And I don't even know if it's correct. They could be telling me anything.
They could be. You submit ashes in that thing, it tell you was half African. Let me tell you something, y'all. The best information you'll find in this world is in Utah. They hold most of the country's records for over 200 plus years, where you can literally look up and find almost any family member, then find their information. That's why Ancestry.com works, because it's tied to the the Library Bank of Information in Utah. So the Mormons have made side, how we gonna make some money off all this paperwork? Oh, we're gonna do Ancestry.com. You know what I mean? So like I've been able to find where our family, you know, you guys already know this about me. I've talked about it on the channel. Our family owned slaves. We had a plantation in Alabama. You know what I mean? Like we found all the data. We done found data that goes back where our family were U.S. Marshals, only because they were half Indian, not because they didn't look black, because they was Indian looking. They let them slide through. All kind of that information is out there. So when people be wanting to do these DNA tests, I'll be like, honey, you better use that old fashioned pen and paper. Ask your old Bo Cephas cousin who they know and the family names they can go back as far as they can, because the data's out there. So whenever y'all submit to these tests and these different things, that's what you're doing. You're allowing that information and that data to go. Even when you go to the doctor, right? When you have that, what's that thing on your card that you're an organ donor? Honey, they in
Yeah.
the system. They're like, oh, you in the car? Let me see. Like, trust me, it's in there.
Yeah, one of the things too, it was on the tip of my tongue. When you apply for jobs, I don't know if people do it, but I always get my background check to see what's on it. And a lot of these background checks, you'll be surprised what they actually look for, because you can request it to be free. I advise everybody just to check their own background sometimes to see what's there. Oh, check your credit report. Do y'all know how many people that don't check their credit report? Like, I don't know what's on my credit report.
Listen, Diamond Dave had a thing where he was moving from Houston, Texas to Georgia, and they had him tied to some criminal. And he was like, I don't even know this man. I ain't never been connected to this man. You would have never known if they, one, didn't tell you, and two, it wasn't on your credit report. So now you got to fight proactively for your information on your credit report. I've made this very clear, y'all. The next couple of years, 2 to 5 years, people with credit repairs, people that do credit repair, all these people are gonna make a ton of money. There's several white influencers, I can tell you right now, that came out, charged $7,000 for credit repair, got 500 clients, which is $3.5 million, and they laughing all the way to the bank. Because you don't have to do it forever if you do a big splash. That's all I'm saying. Then make that if that's clear. So Dr. Dix, tell them where they can find you. I've been putting it in the chat. Where can they talk with you if they have questions about their future, how they want to handle things? Somebody told me to come up with some reparations. I'm not doing it. I'm standing in the line just like y'all. I'm here for my reparations.
you can find me on Instagram at King of Automation, KingOfAutomation. You can find me on LinkedIn at Dr. Patrick Dix. You can also reach out to me on calendly.com/Dr. Dix. And you can go to my website, the Dix Consulting Group, and you also can get to do consultations with me there, because I know the world is going to be very challenging and difficult. I'm here to help people get through it because I wrote research on it. And I myself am finding new ways to maneuver to stay ahead. So I would like to share that with everybody else.
You guys, I've been posting Dr. Dix recent videos from his YouTube channel in our community wall with his Calendly link. I'll be posting more of it for the rest of the year. Please take advantage to talk to people who are in this spaces. Everybody ain't gonna move as fast as me and Dr. Dix are moving in things, but there's opportunity for everybody, and there's a lot of insight. I got on the phone with somebody the other day, Dr. Dix, and they were like, I didn't know any of that. You know what I mean? Just talking about automation, where the country's going, credit, all this stuff. You really don't know what you don't know. And I think it's important for y'all to get in rooms or get on the phone with people that could help you outline a great future. So Dr. Dix, man, you crack me up every time you come. Next week, I think we're talking about, was it money? Was it retirement accounts? What were we talking about?
It might be retirement accounts next week.
Okay, I think it's the retirement accounts next week. So you guys listen, all these different little websites, y'all out there trying to buy the Bitcoin coins and the Etsy coins and this coin. Listen, y'all better get that retirement automated. That's your number one thing to automate, is that retirement. So listen, you guys, this is your girl Ericka from the Classy Climb blog. Dr. Dix, tell them where they can find you on the internet one more time.
You can find me at the Dix Consulting Group. I do consultations on calendly.com/Dr. Dix, on Instagram at King of Automation, and on LinkedIn at Dr. Dix. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll help you in whatever way I possibly can. And those are the ways to find me. And, we're still evolving and getting out there more to help people out.
Man, Dr. Dix about to have a boot camp out there somewhere, y'all. We got to get ready. All right, you guys, this is your girl Ericka, Classy Climb blog. Listen, Dr. Dix, we got to talk about them Beyonce tickets too. They don't come out to listen, Anita Baker, Beyonce, all of them, they wait until January, February, March. Why? Because they know it's going to get some money.
The Beehive, they going to see her.
The Beehive is going to see her. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about retirement next week, though. All right, this is your girl Ericka, Classy Climb blog. Later.